So what's up, everybody? Regulars to the channel may notice some new faces we have here. These are the lovely people who will be joining us for our Know You're Dead campaign, the Zombie Apocalypse Simulator. So welcome. I'll give everybody a brief moment to introduce themselves to chat. I know you guys know Orange and Ewok, because I'm always throwing them hosts after I get done usually, but we'll start with Mr. Buckle.
Start with me.
Sure.
I'm so unprepared.
You're not accepting an Emmy, just like, hey, I'm Buckle.
Yep, I'm Buckle. Just started streaming myself not too long ago, and I mostly just moderate 1,000,001 channels. And I really like D&D.
Right on. And let's see, who's next? Ewok.
I'm Ewok Fuzzy Nuts. You guys see me in here all the time. What are we doing? We're doing... I play everything that I can get my hands on. Stream nightly. And that's okay. I don't know what to do in these situations.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
I don't
cool.
know what to do with my hands.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Vesper.
Alright. Hello everyone. You may or may not know me. I am a DayZ streamer. I've been streaming since February, right? February, so it's been about 8 months. But yeah, I mostly play DayZ, a little bit of Ark. This is going to be my first time playing D&D. I've played one game of Pathfinder, so this is going to be a huge learning process with me. Bear with me.
Well, you're in luck then, because you do have a good basis to build off of then. Like, if you've played Pathfinder, this is basically the same exact game, just minor differences.
I didn't really get it, though.
Well, that's why we're here. Hopefully I'll be able to explain it in a way that kind of makes sense. I mean, a lot of this stuff is stuff that any gamer would have encountered at some point in their lives. Because, like, even video games use the same kind of ability scores. Like, everybody knows what strength is for, everybody knows what dexterity means, that kind of stuff.
It's all stuff that hunters use, right?
Yeah,
Hey,
right?
Warcraft joke. You guys get it.
Hey! Those WoW jokes.
Uh,
I don't want to go back to Legion, but I probably...
I started playing again every day this week. Fucking Crom.
I already
Shame.
subscribed.
Shame.
I get real quiet when it comes to World of Warcraft. I've never played, so like everything's just like, what?
You're like
Good
the only
for you.
person on the planet who hasn't.
Good for you.
Oh,
Bravo.
I think I'm
shoot.
glad I didn't. Yeah.
I did forget one thing. I am going to send out a tweet real quick.
Ooh, the tweet war.
Well, I'm Orange Sherbet or Dan, whatever, and I've never played.
Never mind, Scruffles has it. I'm retweeting. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I've never done roleplay either, so I'm not the only one. But I've been streaming since like 2000, like late 2011 or early 2012, and I think I discovered Thogler's stream through Bike Man.
Probably
Possibly.
Bike Man, yeah.
Yeah, and he asked me to participate, and I thought, hey, kind of try out some new things, and we'll see how it goes. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm looking forward to having some fun.
Yeah, like I said, like, that's part of the reason why I called the original show Know Your Role, is because, like, you see all these D&D shows on Twitch, but you, like, if you don't know what D&D is and you go into one of them, it's like, okay, great, he rolled a 20. No idea what that means. So, yeah, I'm basically gonna cover pretty much everything. The skeleton, the framework, the meat and potatoes of the game.
Good. Good.
So do you guys have, like, any questions real quick before we get started?
How do I play? Just kidding.
Well, yeah. Ewok, go ahead.
What's a Nubian?
Nubian?
He gets it. He gets it, right? Okay, he gets it. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Chasing Amy.
Chasing.
Oh,
Yep.
jeez. Dude, it's been a long time since I saw that movie.
Black Rage, mother effer.
Hi, Adam.
So what's up, everybody in chat? Thank you for joining us. We have a couple of our usual players in here. Scruffles, Ammo. What up, ladies? Emma wanted to know if I chose you solely based on your hair color, because she also has red hair.
She's on to you.
Yeah.
Better look out. She knows.
So Scruffles is the odd one out now, because she doesn't have red hair.
It's not too late.
It's pretty easy to do. Do it. Can be the Red Legion.
That's more than a little frightening.
No, no.
By the way, your stream today, Vesper, was fucking out of control. It was just non-stop.
Way too much stuff going on. Did you? Were you there for the end, the shot?
Yes,
Where you
I was there for
literally
pretty
came out
much
of
the whole thing,
nowhere.
just like lurking on and off, but I had it on all day while I was
Good.
working on stuff.
Way too good. You got any last words?
Need to
Done.
follow everybody's stream here.
Yeah, guys, make sure we're following streams. Everybody's name on the actual screen is their actual Twitch name. I may or may not change that once I get the final overlay done. I'm just using this now because the overlay that we'll be using is made for 8 players plus me, and it's not quite finished yet. So,
That's a lot.
yeah. We may have to implement some kind of raise your hand to talk policy, but I hope not. We're all streamers, so I think it'll all work out. We'll figure it out. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Anyway, getting to the game. D&D, any tabletop D20 based game, or even D6 based game, you see a lot of those too. That's kind of that's a whole different conversation, but the general idea of it is that anything that you do in life, or any action that a person could take, is based on some sort of chance, and that chance is modified by certain variables. For instance, Ronda Rousey, for example, who's a woman and amazing, great fucking fighter, probably would have a much higher strength score than me, who sits on his ass writing D&D stuff all day. So, naturally she would be better at climbing, swimming, jumping, all kinds of physical things like that. So basically that gives you a general idea of how the core of the game works. Somebody who's stronger is going to have an easier time breaking down a door than somebody who's weaker. Makes sense, right? You guys follow so far?
Yes.
So then that's where your 6 abilities scores come in. Thank you for that, host. It hasn't popped up on my dashboard yet, and I can't quite read the name. But thank you for the host. So there's strength. Everybody gets that. Don't need to explain it. Dexterity, that's how nimble you are. It also affects how good you are at shooting, well, in this example, or ranged attacks in general. Then you have Constitution, which is like your hardiness. Like that's going to affect how many health points you have. And also how resilient you are to taking damage, or possibly, getting affected by a poison or some kind of toxin. Disease, that usually is based off of Fortitude, which is a Constitution roll. Then you have your mental stats, which is Wisdom. A lot of that, like, Wisdom's kind of the hardest one to explain, because Wisdom is basically tied to, like, your perception abilities, which is, like, spot and listen, but also things like heal is based off of Wisdom. These are all skills, by the way, and we'll get into that afterward. Intelligence, that's pretty straightforward, how smart you are. That's also going to affect how many skill points you get. And this is a very skill-heavy game. And charisma. Charisma is like, for lack of a better term, it's your likability. It doesn't necessarily translate into being good-looking or being bad-looking. Some people are just naturally more charismatic than others. Follow so far? Any questions?
Nope.
I feel like I'm giving a lecture here.
I feel
I'm
like I should be
taking it all
taking notes.
Well, like,
It's in the manual too.
yeah, you have the rule book, and like I said, those 6 ability scores, that's all stuff that gamers have
Right.
seen for fucking ever, so you get the general idea of it. So just to go through them again, just to like give you an idea of like what's tied to what. So like strength is tied to a couple different skills, but also like your melee attack rolls, stuff like that. Carrying weight, I try not to mess with that too much. I will be a lot less forgiving with that in this than I am in D&D. Because obviously there's no such thing as like a bag of holding. Like, I can just put things in an extra dimensional space, because we haven't gotten that far as humans yet.
That you
Yet.
know of.
Yet.
Now it's going to be in the Tesseract with all those books and Matthew McConaughey. Don't be afraid of black holes, kids, because there's books in them for you to shove around. Watches to tap. Anyway, digging my shirt. It's Behemoth. One of my favorite bands. I feel like it's very quiet in here. That's alright. I'll just keep talking.
Doing fine. Keep going.
We're all listening with bated breath. Please.
So dexterity, some other things that will tie into is your initiative, which is how quickly are you to react to things. It basically determines your position in the combat order, which we'll get into later. It's also going to affect your reflex saves, you know, how nimble you are and able to get out of the way of danger. And also certain skills like, I believe, drive. See, this one has
Speaking of
different.
drive,
Yeah, I think drive. Checking.
That was a good
Yes,
time.
is tied to dexterity. And like escape artist, which is very useful, especially because a lot of this will be grapple checks, which Buckle hates, but we're gonna streamline it for him, so
It's gonna be okay.
it's gonna be
I'll
all
get through
right.
it.
We're gonna slog on through those grapple checks. Try and not have it take up too much time. Then we get to Constitution. Again, I said that affects your hit points. So if you have a higher Constitution score, that's going to give you a bonus to how many hit points you get at each level. Naturally, as you go up in levels, you'll have more hit points, just like any other role-playing game that you've ever played. And it'll also affect your Fortitude save, which I mentioned before, how resilient you are to taking damage. You know, if you're exposed to a poison, the difficulty check for that is going to be a Fortitude save. Wisdom, in addition to being tied to a few perception and heal and stuff like that type skills, that's also going to affect your sanity, which is a little bit different from D&D. I have seen sanity used in D&D games, but it's not very common. I'm also going to be reworking that a little bit from how it is in the book, because a lot of it's like very randomized stuff, and I don't necessarily agree with that for this game. For example, if you were to see something that, you know, the average person would find very, very shocking, I might make you make a sanity roll. If you fail the roll, you'll lose X amount of sanity, and if you lose enough sanity in one swoop, there's the potential that you might have like a psychotic episode, basically. But again, there's like random tables for that in here, so I'm thinking I might just do like a DM discretion on that. Like, I'll just pick one, because there's certain situations where it's not like, oh my god, I'm panicking, I'm gonna shoot the person in the head next to me, because that is one of the options. So Ewok, go ahead.
do we get bonus to sanity if we visited our space dicks?
If you visit what?
Do what now?
Do we get bonus to sanity if we have visited our space dicks?
I'm not.
Don't go to Reddit space dicks if you have not been there.
I will not. I promise.
Chrome tab up. Chrome tab closed.
Yeah, don't do it.
And banned from Twitch. All right.
Go with.
So your ability scores are basically the cornerstones of your character, and then you kind of build off of those, if that makes any sense. So the way that I like to do ability scores, and also, I don't know if you guys decided what exactly it is you want to play, because like I said, the other group, they're all like, we're gonna be ourselves. I'm like, all right. So in the book, there is a few like templates for, because there's no classes in this, you just get 12 skills to pick that are your class skills. And the book gives you like profession templates, they're called, which
Yeah.
gives you
Page
like a
13.
rough, yeah, it gives you like a rough idea of the type of skills.
Can I play as Usain Bolt so I just can run really fast?
Well,
Can I be like a female version of Daryl Dixon?
sure, absolutely. Knock yourself. The sky's the
Lifelong
limit.
dream.
I mean, that's the cool thing about tabletop games is like your imagination is really the limit in a lot of ways. My job as the DM is to keep your imagination from, just running rampant. I'm a dragon now. Like no, exactly. So, but yeah, the way we do ability scores is pretty easy. Sorry, I just dropped my vape. My pen. I'm always dropping.
no.
Nailed it. Alright, so anyway, the way we do ability scores is you're going to roll 4 6-sided die and drop the lowest score. And the remaining 3, you total those up, and that's your score. So I'll roll one real quick just to show you guys what I'm talking about. And if you're new to Roll20, I don't know, it says rolling the dice. There we go. Oh, so I actually rolled really good. So the 2 is the lowest one, so I would drop that, so the remaining score is a 17. So I would write... it's also good to have, like, scrap paper handy, or just, like, a Word document open, something like that. Just to make quick little notes, because I allow people to adjust these scores here. Oh, wow, look at Vesper coming to class
Wow.
prepared.
We doing it top-down strength of charisma, or we just roll in 6 scores and applying it how we want?
I let people apply it how they want.
Cool.
So Buckle, you know what you're doing, so I'll let you go first and kind of show by example.
All right, cool. So I'm picking we're going with the white collar profession template. And the skills I'm going with are in charisma and wisdom. Those are my top 3. So we'll just do my 46 and I got a 17.
So dropping the lowest one is a 3, so that is a 14.
Yep.
Oh shit.
I'm just gonna do all 6 real quick.
Yep, no problem. Yeah, that works.
All right, so let's see, 19 minus 3, 16. 19 minus 2, 17.
Nice.
13 minus 1, substantial 12. That'll be my strength. Let's see, 14 minus 1, 13. Oh, okay.
And the last
And a
one,
7.
I'll let you re-roll.
You sure?
Yeah, if it's like drastically horrible, then I let people re-roll a score. Basically, if it's like under 9.
All right, I'll take
All
10.
right, so 10. So 10,
All right.
when it comes to ability scores for the new folks, basically 10 is average. So that's like if you have 10 in every ability score, you are totally Joe average. You're not great at anything. You're not really bad at anything. You're completely average. So a lot of your skills and stuff are based off of your ability modifier, which we'll get into that in a second. But if you go below 10 on an ability score, you start getting minuses on your ability modifier as opposed to pluses, which could potentially be a very bad thing. So just something to keep in mind.
I'd love to assign them to my character sheet, but it won't let me fill them in.
Make sure you're clicking on the base. Here, let me pull your character sheet. Yeah, on base score, it's not letting you modify it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Should be able to edit it.
Let me just. Nothing in F5 can't fix.
Also, before you put your ability scores in, another thing I like to offer players to do is if you want to take 2 points off of one of those to add one onto another, or you can just leave them as is.
Yeah, I'll keep them as is. All right, so I'm gonna throw them for int, and then I'll take my 16. That'll go in charisma, and we got 14 will be my wisdom. 13 we will do constitution. I'll do 12 in dex and 10 in strength.
Right on. Yeah, JP, I've done point buy before. I think for starting players, it's probably a bit easier to just do rolls. Point buy can get kind of complicated. Jingle, jingle,
Yep.
jingle, jingle.
All right, so I'm done for my abilities.
All right. Orange, you want to go next?
Sure.
So the way that you do this is you just type /roll space 4d6.
Okay.
The letter D, not number 40.
All right.
So
And
your
then I
first
repeat that?
one. Yep. So you're going to do that a total of 6 times.
Okay.
Pretty good. All right,
Yes.
so dropping the lowest from the first one is going to make 15 a 13. Drop 1, we've got 16. And 17. 10.
10.
9.
Can I re-roll if it's below 10? Or is it only like a certain threshold?
Yeah, I would keep that 9 because you rolled pretty high on your
I
other
rolled pretty high, yeah.
ability
Okay, fair enough.
scores.
And then 14 for the next one.
Right. And like I said, so you have a 13, a 16, a 17, a 10, a 9, and a 14. So if you want to take 2 off of one of those to add 1 to another, you are more than welcome to do that. Another thing to keep in mind is ability modifiers only change on the evens. So going from like 10 to 11 isn't going to bring up your modifier, but going 11 to 12 will.
Right, okay. I think I'll take 2 off of my 17 and add it to my 9, so to make it like more well-rounded.
There you go.
Change that one from a 15. And so I have a 13, 16, 15, 10, 14, and 11. And
So then you would want to kind of sit back and kind of think of like, what kind of character you're playing, what would their strong points be, what would their not so strong points be,
right.
based off of your skills primarily, because that's 90% of what fleshes out your character game rule wise in this.
Yeah. And I was looking at the soldier template, so I'd put my 15 into strength. And I'm going to be editing these myself, right? In my
Yep.
journal.
If you pull up your character sheet,
okay.
and like you hit the character sheet and then tab over to where it actually says character sheet, like right at the top where it says ability scores, there's a couple different columns. The one base is the one that you'll change, and then it'll calculate your modifiers accordingly.
Okay.
It
Oh,
does
yeah,
it
I
all
see
automatically.
I see it.
Where are you guys seeing the character sheet?
Oh, we did that while
I'm gonna
you
refresh
were
this.
away. Let me make sure I have you. Okay.
Sorry if this takes me a while to do, because
Yeah, no problem. Take your time. Vesper, if you, it's like a newspaper-looking thing, says journal in the upper right-hand corner, like near where the cogwheel is. You should be able to see your character sheet there now.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
And I mentioned this before. I know it says D&D 3.5. That's because they don't have the character sheet for this implemented into Roll20. This is the closest thing that they have. So I made whatever modifications needed to be made, and then just made a bunch of copies for people.
Weird. When I click, oh wait, when I click to edit the value on something, it doesn't let me do anything.
You should click on the base column. I just did that same thing.
Yeah. If you look at the ability, it says STR, which is strength. It gives you the total, the mod, and then the next column after that is your base. That's the
Oh,
one that you're
right.
able to edit.
Thanks for that. Thanks
No
for that.
problem.
Okay.
It's kind of
Cool.
confusing the way it's set up.
I see. Thanks for explaining that. I'm just gonna look and see what other skills I wanted to. And I'm such a noob that I have to like look at the list of all the skills.
No worries,
Hey.
man.
It's on the table 2-1. There it is. Okay, so I got strength and dexterity at 16, strength at 15, and what was the other? I forget what the other base skill that the soldier took.
Strength, dex, wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay.
Well, wisdom is going to help, like, your spot and listen checks. Stuff like that.
Okay, so yeah, I'll go the wisdom on 14.
Wisdom also affects your sanity.
I feel like that's going to be pretty important.
It'll be situationally important. Not as important as it is in actual Call of Cthulhu, as any of the players would love to tell you all about, I'm sure.
And then
Possibly tomorrow, Ammo. I'm gonna see if I can fit that in as part of our usual broadcast and just bang that out. I'm assuming we can probably get everybody else's characters done pretty quickly because they already know D&D and they already know this game, so should just be able to breeze right through it. I think the most time consuming thing is just like me telling them that they're not allowed to do things if they're role playing as themselves. It's like, no, you can't have a 20 strength because that's like gorilla strength.
I'll put my 13 into hide, and then
Hide and move silently. Those are also good.
oh, okay, yeah. I guess I'll 11. I'll be my move silently.
Oh no, you're
Oh,
That-
is it the same?
that's
same thing?
different. You skills are calculated a bit differently. We'll get into that afterwards.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, I see. So untrained. Wait, if it says untrained, yes. What does that mean?
It means that you're able to use that skill without having any skill ranks in it.
Oh, okay. I got you. So.
Certain ones are marked with asterisks, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And if you can't find any of the skills that are listed in the book, they're probably down at the very, very bottom because I had to add them in. Because obviously regular D&D doesn't have like drive, pilot, things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could modify it to do that, but
Right. I'm missing two, but kind of unsure what I should use them for, to be honest. No one can answer that for me. I need to pick something. Let's
Well,
see.
I mean, if you have any questions, like pro and con,
What was the skill that you were talking about that what were the skills that you talked about when we were like going through the intro for it?
well, like the profession template gives you a list of like you get these class skills plus you can pick 3 more, I think usually. Let me look it up real quick, and so be better able to help you.
It's like getting lost in this book.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot of information to take in all at once, but, like, the best way to learn these types of games is just playing them.
True, true, true.
And if you have a good DM, they'll just, just keep drilling it into you, and eventually it's just second nature.
Yep.
Alright, so for Soldier, you start off with Climb, Hide, Jump, Listen, Move Silently, Spot, Swim, Use Rope, and Wilderness Lore. I'm not sure if I put Wilderness Lore on the list. If not, just we'll call that Survival instead, because it's the same exact thing.
Okay.
And you get to pick 3 more of your choice. So there should be a little checkbox next to each of those skills. So your class skills are the ones that you'll check off.
Okay.
So while you're looking over that, we can have Ewok roll up some
Sure.
ability scores.
All right, here we go.
Do it. Yeah, you can reroll that one.
Here we go. I'm already starting out strong.
Get it out of the way. Shake it off. There you go. That one's not bad. So that's going to be a 15. Oof. Yeah, I'll let you reroll that one.
All right.
There you go.
15. Hold on, I'm marking this down so I can see it. 15.
Another 15.
15. Here we go.
12. Man, dude, I honestly don't think I've ever seen ability scores rolled like this before, sir. There you go.
11. All right. God damn.
That's all right. You're not doing bad.
And a 10. All right, I'm gonna choose criminal.
Oh, nice.
Figure I'd spice that up.
Cool.
And I figure sleight of hand would be useful.
Definitely. Hey, man. Everybody needs a sneak thief. Alright, so, your class skills are Bluff, Disable Device, Escape Artist, Forgery, Hide, Innuendo, Move Silently, Open Lock, Sleight of Hand, and 3 more of your choice.
All right. So I'm gonna put strength 10.
Yeah, I would imagine as a criminal you're going to want high dexterity. That's going to be tied to a lot of your skills. Charisma could also be very useful. Talking
Yeah,
your way
that-
out of tight situations.
I got both Dex and Charisma 15, and I got Constitution 11, Int 12, Wisdom 12.
Right on. Not bad.
Now let me put that in here.
Alright, Vesper. Time to make history.
All right. What is it? Roll what? Slash roll? No,
Slash roll space 4d6.
46 and do that 6 times.
Yep.
Copy pasta that. Alright. Here's 1.
Nice. That is going to be a 16. Yep.
Okay. 2.
Damn. Another 16.
13.
13. Mm-hmm.
How many is that? 3?
Yep.
Okay. 12.
14. Dang.
Alright, one more.
Oh, I'll let you reroll that one.
Womp womp.
Alright.
Man.
Yeah, because a 5 is abysmally horrible.
Oh, stop! Can I do it again?
Yeah. Try one more time. Make it happen.
One more.
Last chance.
Come on, Lord Gaben.
There you
Alright.
go.
There we go.
An 11.
So that is 11. I'm taking notes. Bear with me. Just
No
so
problem.
I remember all this. Okay, and that was
So you had two 16s, a 13, a 12, a 14.
11?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to actually go with the detective class.
Oh. Vesper Grimes?
Vesper Grimes.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
They don't know who they're messing with. That was the best Rick Grimes impression I got.
Do you even know who you're talking to?
There you go. That's actually pretty good. Hold on.
Thank you. I practiced in front of the mirror.
Just don't cut off my hand.
Not making any promises. Alright, so your class skills for detective, police, or private investigator. You can go down the list and then just check them off on skills on your character sheet. You see the little box to the left.
No. Yes. No. Yes.
Under the skills tab.
Oh wait, I'm looking at. Okay, I was looking at abilities. Yes. Okay, I see him.
Yeah, they made it all kind of screwy lately. I wish they had left the character sheets the way that they were instead of making it all different tabs. So you get the ones that are listed, and you also get to pick 3 of your choice as class skills. Now, the difference between a class skill and a non-class skill is how many points that you need to spend in order to get a rank in it. For your class skills, it's easy, 1-to-1. For every point you spend in it, you get a rank in it. Up to a maximum at each level, it's always... The maximum for your class skills is always whatever your level is plus 3. So you're starting at first level, so the most ranks that you can put in any of your class skills is 4.
Okay.
Just to keep that in mind, we'll go through how you figure out what your skill points are momentarily.
Okay. And then everything's like on different pages. And then do I pick like the charisma and dexterity and everything level based off of my rolls? I'm just making sure I'm tracking here.
No, you... By all means, this is absolutely the time to ask questions, so no problem at all. So basically what you would do is you look at your class skills for detective, and most of them, like a good chunk of them are tied to dexterity, a good chunk of them are tied to wisdom, charisma, so that might be where you want to put your ability scores.
Okay.
Like, kind of put your strong points with your class skills. But also keeping in mind that you don't want to gimp yourself in certain areas either. You know, if you give yourself like a 10 or 11 for strength, like, that's 0 bonus for your attack rolls, stuff like that. For like melee attacks, you know, if you're swinging a hammer, swinging a bat.
Right.
Dexterity is where your ranged attack rolls are going to come from, which will be firearms, crossbow.
Great. All right, well then I put a 16 into dexterity then? Is that how that would work? Okay.
If you want, I
Alright.
can help you like make recommendations and kind of explain why I would choose that.
Okay,
If that would help.
please do. Yeah, if you don't mind.
All right, so like I'm assuming you're still kind of going the Daryl Dixon route. You just want to be a badass, right?
That was just a joke.
Well,
That
I'm
was just a joke. I actually probably the sneakier the better, and if I can talk myself out of situations.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that'll be
So you're probably gonna want to put your 16s into dexterity because that'll help your shooting. It'll
okay.
also help any kind of sneaking that you need to do. That's your hide, your move silently, escape artist, reflex saves. And it'll also help your armor class, because dexterity gets tied into that. Armor class is how hard are you for me to hit, basically.
Okay.
So, in terms of armor class, higher is better, which is the total opposite of the original D&D, which was Thaco or Thac 0, which was supremely complex. You have a negative AC. No, it's good, man.
Yep, negative is better.
It was like totally reversed and didn't make any sense compared with the rest of the game rules in a certain way. Anyway, so yeah, I would do charisma, dexterity, strength. Let's see. Wisdom is also going to be kind of important because that's like where your perception comes from. So it's kind of a toss-up. It's kind of like up to you where you put the remaining scores. But just to keep in mind, like, if you want more skill points, then you're going to want a higher intelligence. If you want to notice things better, you're going to want a higher wisdom. That'll also help your sanity.
Okay.
Constitution is going to help your fortitude saves and also give you more hit points, which there's once you die in this, you're dead. There's no coming back. Like in D&D, we have like divine intervention, which is like a whole thing that's kind of involved chat now too, because I have chat buying DIs for people when they die and stuff.
We can't like resuscitate them, do CPR or anything?
Well, that's what heal is for, but it's like, and I'll get into that. Well, actually, I can explain that now. The way it works is you're not dead once you hit 0 hit points. Once you hit 0, you're bobbleheaded. Once you start hitting negative hit points, then you're unconscious, and you can get up to -9. Once you hit -10, you're dead. That's the point of no return. So you can still have negative hit points and have somebody stabilize you, which is a heal check, which is tied to wisdom. So, yeah, it all depends on how you want to play the character. If you still want to have some burl, you might want to consider putting the 14 into strength, so that way you're getting a +2 on your melee attacks and damage.
Okay.
But it's, like I said, it's totally up to you. It all depends on how you want to play the character.
Alright,
And I know this is kind of boring. Like, this is the dull, boring
it's-
part of the game.
it's not that it's boring, it's just that it's really it's a lot of information.
It's a lot to soak in all at once, but,
Exactly.
like, once you get the hang of it, it's like, yeah, this makes total sense now. Like, after you've played a few times, like, you'll definitely have the hang of it.
Okay. 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 Wait for it. Wait for it.
Holding.
Wait, which one? Hold! Okay. I feel like I'm missing something. Dexterity, wisdom, charisma, strength. What's
Intelligence.
INT?
Intelligence.
So I have intelligence. What else? What's it?
Constitution.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna do 16 dexterity, 16 wisdom, 13 charisma, 12 strength. Wait, where am I going? Yes, 14 intellect and 11 constitution.
Right on.
Got it. All right.
Awesome.
So I will put it in my character sheet, right?
Yep.
With my okay.
Yeah, like I said, this is like the arduous getting shit done, and then after this, it's just playing the game.
Okay. Okay. What were shit. Let's back up. All right, are you guys waiting on me to fill all this in by any chance?
No, I'm just kind of like looking ahead, trying to figure out what we're doing. For height and weight, there's a way that you can randomize that if you want. Or you can just kind of pick whatever you want. Also, if you want to roleplay as a woman or a man, doesn't make any difference to me. It's totally up to you guys.
Finally, roleplay as a man.
Finally be a man!
I'm be a man.
Now you're a man! A manly, manly man!
Oh,
Oh,
man.
God.
You're a man!
So I don't know if you can tell us now, but what's the time frame after? Like, when are we all?
That's a good question.
Like, how long has the apocalypse been going on? Or is
Oh.
that spoilers for the next? Started.
I'm starting you guys off pretty much at, like, the point where I'm trying to not be spoilery. Basically, the point where you guys are going to be starting and actually starting to play is going to be, like, this is the point where society falls. Like, this is the end point. And then from here on out, it's literally post-apocalyptic.
Okay.
So it's
So
like
I've had time to
Fear the
lose
Walking
weight.
Dead versus The Walking Dead.
Right. Like, if I had to put it in that kind of timeline, you guys would be starting, like, a little after the last episode of Fear the Walking Dead.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's a good reference.
So I've had enough cardio to lose weight when we get this started.
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
Cardio's important, man. It's, like, one of the key rules,
It's
right?
rule 1, right?
Yeah.
Rule number 1. So throughout that time, I was focusing, and I got my character set now too. So if
Right
you want
on.
to know, what skills I picked, I can tell
Yeah,
you.
sure.
I balance,
Nice.
concentration, and heal is what I picked. So the extra
Awesome.
on top. So.
Cool.
All right, I picked. Shit, where did it go? Handle animal.
Nice.
Animal empathy
Also very cool.
and drive.
Nice.
So are you a carny?
That would be awesome.
Oh, I wish. Oh, man, that's a great one. You don't mess with
Yeah,
the card.
I grabbed bluff, intimidate, and where'd you go? And forgery.
Nice. Good ones.
I asked my girlfriend just yesterday. I was like, I'm not really a master at anything. I'm good at a lot of stuff. What, if we're playing ourselves, what should I pick?
Criminal.
Exactly.
Every Twitch streamer picks criminal. It's the closest thing. Actually, no, it'd probably be artist/musician. I just want to dance. Just want to live my
No.
dream.
I don't think my sweet guitar riffs are gonna halt off any zombies.
You never know, man. You could try.
I might have the
May
power
I direct
to
you to
move.
Thriller?
There you go.
Uh,
Also, you can play like an elderly character if you want to. Just keep in mind that there's ability to score adjustments for that. Because obviously, as you age, you're not as virile as you once were, and maybe a little more wise, that kind of thing. So basically, if you're playing anything under 50 years old, you don't have to worry about that.
All right. Has everyone else picked their three skills, or are you guys waiting on me?
No,
Should have. No. Oh, okay.
we can.
Okay.
Those are your
Yeah, I
guesses.
already picked them
Choice.
out.
What'd you get?
I'm gonna go with escape artist,
Nice.
diplomacy, and where is it? Survival.
Awesome. Good choices. All very, very strong choices. Alright. So in this game, there's... Usually this would be determined by whatever your class is in, like, say, D&D. That's where you would
Okay.
get your base attack bonus and your base saves from. the way that it's done in Call of Cthulhu is you have two options. You can be offensive variant or defensive variant. The difference is the defensive variant isn't going to go up in base attack bonus as quickly, but your saves will be better. Yes?
Sorry. I
it's
just
fine.
realized in the notes of survival it says AKA wilderness lore.
Yeah, that's because in this particular game, the skill it's called wilderness lore. In D&D, it's called survival. It's the exact same thing. I just put that as a note to myself, basically, so I know. Like if somebody says I'm rolling a survival check, I'll know that they mean wilderness lore.
Okay. Can you give me a quick breakdown then of what exactly the survival does then?
Oh, that's like how good you are at getting along in the wild, basically. Like, can
Okay,
you find potable water? Can you start a friction
Fair,
fire?
okay.
Can you catch wild game? Know what berries are good to eat? All that kind of stuff.
All right, I'll keep it.
So
You can't throw in. Weird
honestly,
phrases
I would say as far as skills go, that's probably one of the best ones, given the nature
Okay.
of things.
Right.
Because like I'm gonna be very, very severe in terms of like you have to drink a certain amount every day, you have to eat a certain amount every day, or you start taking penalties for being hungry. You could starve to death. You could die of thirst. I usually don't bother with that in D&D because once you reach a certain level, it's just like, I'll conjure myself some food. It's not. It's like a non-point and just like extra time that doesn't need to be spent. But in this, it's kind of like it's one of the great environmental hazards, so I kind of got to play that up to do it justice.
Right.
So, like I was saying, if you go defensive, you're going to have better saves. If you go offensive, you're going to have better attack, but weaker saves. So you either pick one or the other.
All right.
I'll go offensive.
Wait, so we actually have to choose right now if we're going to be offensive or defensive?
Yep.
Is that what,
Because
okay.
it's going to determine your like how your base attack bonus and your base saves scale.
I think as a
Um,
criminal, I should. Oh, go ahead.
No, go please. Please.
I was gonna say, as a criminal, I think I should probably be defensive.
Like I said, I don't think any particular profession is inclined one way or another per se.
Yeah, I think it comes down to personality more than the profession, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Makes sense.
Very true. Very true. I
Honestly, I think they just put this in the game to provide some kind of variation between how different people want to play their characters.
Right. All right. Well, I'm gonna go defensive. I'm gonna be defensive.
Right on.
I'll go with offensive.
There you go. Even balance. All right. So if you're going with the offensive option, your base attack bonus is going to start at +1. So you should be able to find that on like should be underneath ability scores, I believe. Yeah, if you go under underneath the saves, you see a box for spell resist, and then underneath that is base attack. In that first box, just put a 1.
That's for defensive.
That's for offensive.
Oh, okay.
And if you're defensive, then your base attack bonus is going to stay at 0 for first level.
What tab is this under?
It's under like just the main tab stats.
Same
Okay.
page as strength decks.
Yep. So if you look at
I see it. Okay.
yeah, it's like halfway down, sort of.
And then, sorry, can you repeat what if for offensive?
For offensive, your base attack is going to be 1. So just in that first box, just put a 1 in there.
Okay.
And if you're defensive, that's going to stay at 0.
Okay.
For your offensive, scroll up a little and you can see your saves. Fortitude, Reflex, and Will. You'll be able to change the base save box. So for offensive, you get to put a +2 into one of those, and the other two stay at 0. And that's for offensive. And that will remain your strong save as you progress up. Like, you can't... Like, if you go with a strong Fortitude save now, you can't change it to Reflex later. It'll always be... Fortitude will always be your strong save.
Okay.
And if you went defensive, then 2 of those saves you get to put 2 into the base save.
Okay,
So I can put it in. Oh, go ahead.
just saying, I'm offensive. I get to choose 2 points for one of these. Is that what you said?
Yeah, you would put 2 into the base save column of one of those 3
Okay.
saving throws.
Right. I just don't want to do it wrong. So
Yeah, it's
okay,
not
thank
one
you.
into 2 of them. Yeah.
Got it.
And they're pretty self-explanatory. It's like, if somebody tosses a grenade at you, I'll allow like a reflex save to take half damage. Like basically saying you're able to react fast enough that you can kind of flatten yourself against the ground and minimize the amount of damage that you take. Fortitude, like I said, that's like, staving off poisons, diseases, infections. Trying to think of anything else in this that would be a Fortitude save. And keeping in mind that, like, the zombie virus, like, we're doing this, like, total Walking Dead style. If you get bit, it's game over. There's no Fortitude save for that.
Maybe drinking bad water, Fortitude save.
Yeah, something like that would be a Fortitude save. And then Will is your willpower, basically. Probably won't be using that a whole lot, but that would come to bear in situations like, if you're under duress and basically to keep from losing your marbles. Doing something that probably the rest of the group wouldn't want you to do. Like shooting one of them in the face. That sort of thing.
I get 2 for being defensive, right?
Yes, if you're defensive, then you get a +2 in 2 of those saves.
Oh, so I can do it in 2 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can't put both in the same one.
Can I say I've got 2 for reflex already? Can I put the 1, 2 in that, and then another one and something else? So
Right,
it'd be 4 reflex?
it's your base save is changing to a +2. It's not points to spend so much.
Oh, okay.
So, for instance, you could do reflex and will
Right,
or something like that. Okay.
exactly. Wow.
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 Alright, gear, that's something that we're gonna do at a later date once I have the whole group together. It's gonna be very situational. Usually the way it would work is, like, based on your profession, you would have a certain amount of wealth, and then you would use that to buy equipment. This is gonna be more like, what would you have on you at any given time?
Gotcha.
Or in whatever situation you would be in when the shit hits the fan. And because we came up with this idea kind of live, like while we were streaming, so it kind of developed itself. But the reason why the group wanted to, or part of like the reason why the other group wanted to play themselves is that it was like, let's do a zombie apocalypse PAX East thing, because we're all planning on going to PAX East anyway. So it's going to be starting in the area of Boston.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
So,
Okay.
so polish off those Massachusetts accents. Maybe head on down to Somerville.
that-
Right.
Okay.
Is anyone from
That was
area?
probably the worst
No.
Yeah,
Boston
I'm
accent.
just-
It didn't
Yeah, I
sound-
live in New Hampshire, just north of Boston.
Okay.
Right on.
I got a long journey to go. I'm in Oklahoma.
It's all right.
I don't do accents.
Fly right into Logan, man. Or you could drive, go through Worcester. Welcome to Worcester. That'll be $1.25.
Irish? What?
Yeah.
You guys never heard
What are you, a leprechaun?
Toll
Yeah,
Booth
we
Willie?
have you?
Toll Booth Willie?
Was it?
Old Booth-
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right.
Oh. Good times.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Okay. So now we can do skill points. We'll start with Buckle. What's your intelligence modifier?
Int modifier is 3,
Okay.
and wisdom is 2.
Okay. So you were going to start with 44 skill points.
Hells yes.
And the way that I got that is it's 8 plus your intelligence modifier times 4 for first level. And then every time that you go up in level, it'll be 8 plus your intelligence modifier.
Mm-hmm.
So, Vesper, what's your intelligence modifier?
Where? I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm
Where did
sorry.
I-
I kind of
Oh, I didn't
skipped
put
over that.
The ability score. I
What
didn't
it?
put those in.
Oh, that's fine. If you put your ability scores in, it'll tell you what the modifier is automatically.
I haven't done it. Why isn't it letting me click on it?
Click the base column.
Base column.
It's the third one from the left.
Okay. Base. Right. Okay. Hold.
Holding.
Doing stuff. Doing stuff. I'm so prepared for this. And that was 13. Okay, so which one did you want for base? Or mod? I'm sorry.
Intelligence.
That is 2.
Okay. So you were going to start with 40 skill points to spend.
Okay.
And you can put those up to 4 ranks in any of those skills, which are your class skills.
Okay.
And like I said, it's 1-to-1 for that. If you want to put skill points into any skills which you don't have as class skills, then it costs 2 for each 1 rank.
Okay.
So it costs double, basically, for
Gotcha.
non-class skills. And, again, you gotta find, like, the right box to put the ranks into. I think it's the third one over.
Yeah, it's third one.
Okay.
So, question.
Yep.
You said that she gets 40.
Yep.
So does that mean, let's say, I could distribute it equally? Let's say I had 8 of them. I could distribute it equally 5 in each one, and that would be 5 levels for each one.
Assuming that you were able to put 5 ranks in, which you can't yet. But yes.
Oh, okay.
The math is sound, but yeah. You can only put up to 4 ranks in it right now, because you're only
Oh,
first
okay.
level, so...
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Your max ranks for class skills is always your level plus 3.
Okay.
And this is like all formula that I'm like rattling off the top of my head. It's only because I play D&D all the time. It's just been drilled into me. It's that DM knowledge.
Okay. So if you don't spend them all your points right now, they're just
I let people bank them
bank them. Okay.
if you want.
Okay.
So were you able to figure out your own skill points, Orange?
No.
Oh, okay. So what's your intelligence modifier?
0.
Okay. So it's 8 times 4, which is
Oh, it's 32.
32. Yep.
Okay. So that's what I have. Okay. Gotcha.
And Ewok.
1.
So 9 times 4. Math. $36.
Oh, you're asking me to do it. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
I didn't know if you got stuck on that one or not.
No, no.
This is gonna be a long stream.
Wow. Wow. All right.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So I can put 4 in each one of the skills I picked.
Yep.
And up to 36. Okay.
Yeah, because like ordinarily, like if it was just D&D, I wouldn't let people bank skill points necessarily, but skills are such an important part of this game, and you get so many at first level that, you know, maybe you don't want to max all these things. Maybe you want to wait and put more ranks into things that matter more, that make more sense.
Is there somewhere to put on the character sheet the ability points or no?
Yep, if you tab over to skills, the third column next to each skill
Oh no,
is your
I see
ranks.
that. But total, like how many total I have? I don't know.
It'll calculate it for you once you put the ranks in.
Oh, okay.
Are you wondering like where if you're gonna bank him, where you would put it or something?
Oh, you could
Yeah.
put that under like notes,
Okay.
miscellaneous, something like that. Wherever you want to keep track of it, that's totally up to you.
All right.
Out of class skills cost double, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Alright, now the way skills work is it's usually based off of a DC number, DC standing for difficulty check. Obviously, something that's easy to do is going to have a lower number, something that's harder to do is going to have a higher number. So, I think the book gives examples, so... like, very easy would be a DC of 0, like, you literally don't have to roll it. It's like, notice something in plain sight. Like, I'm not gonna make you roll a spot check to see the stop sign that you're standing in front of. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Or like climbing a knotted rope is a DC 5 climb check. All the way up to heroic, which would be like DC 30, which would be leaping across a 30-foot chasm. I do not recommend trying it.
Natural 20s all day.
There you go. That's the only way you're going to hit that, pretty much. For DC 30, yeah.
I
Pretty
don't
much.
even. I already don't trust my rolls, so.
Yeah, you might want to hang
Ship 'em
back a
out
little
early.
bit. So, yeah, you guys have a generally good idea of how skills work, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. You know, if you have to walk across a ledge, it's going to be a balance check. Anytime you have to climb something, obviously going to be a climb check. Drive, I typically don't make people roll that for just general driving. Like, if you're just getting from point A to point B, that's more like, you know, I want to fucking pull the e-brake and drift around a corner kind of shit, then I would make you roll a drive check for that, but... Alright. Also, when it comes to skills, there's going to be certain elements that are going to add or subtract from the difficulty check, various things, just based on, like, the environment. Like, obviously, like, climbing up something wet and slippery is going to be a lot more difficult than climbing up something that has a lot of handholds. It's pretty common sense. There's also what's called taking 10 and taking 20. Taking 10 on a check means you treat it as if you automatically rolled a 10 because you're taking your time with it. Can't do that all the time, can't do it in combat. And taking 20 is the greater version of that. Like, you're taking hours to really work on something. And it doesn't work with all skills.
Okay.
Like, for example, you walk into a drugstore and somebody knocks over a gumball machine, and so their gumballs go all over the floor, and you have to make a balance check to keep from slipping and falling on them. You can't take 20 on that. Like, I'm gonna take an hour and really
Tiptoe around
to
them.
really balance. You know what I mean? Like
Wouldn't work
that.
anyways.
Exactly.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, that right there.
Are you talking about Entrapment?
Yes, yes.
A great movie. At least it was when I was a kid. I don't know. Might not be.
Yeah, I don't know if it aged well.
You guys aren't high enough level to do synergy bonuses yet, so we don't really need to cover that. Basically, that means, like, if you have 5 or more ranks in one skill, it gives you a +2 bonus on another somewhat related skill. Like, Animal Empathy gives a bonus to Handle Animal. Bluff gives benefit to Intimidate, Sleight of Hand, that kind of stuff. But that's only once you're able to put 5 or more ranks in it. So we'll get to that after you guys level. All right. And all the skills. Feats we can do in a second, but we'll do hit points first. That's pretty easy, because everybody is human. So, Buckle, you know what I'm talking about when I say hit die. Your hit die is d6. The way that I do that is at first level, you start off with your full hit die plus your Constitution modifier, and then every level after that, it's half +1 plus your Constitution. So, a little bit better than average as opposed to rolling it each time.
Not doing 1d8 plus 2.
Or
For human? How many d6 am I rolling here? Because I thought it was 1d8 plus 2 for
oh
human.
no, you don't have to roll it.
Okay.
Everybody has d6 for hit die. So for your first level, you're starting off with full plus your Constitution modifier.
Oh, gotcha. All right, yeah. 7.
Not bad. So Vesper, what's your Constitution? 1? Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to get over there. Constitution. The mod is 0, right?
Okay. So you're going to start off with 6 hit points.
Okay.
So that'll be your current and max. There's a spot for that under stats on the right-hand side, very top.
Okay. So current 6 and then puts. Okay.
Yep.
Track.
And then put 6 in max. Because you'll be able to get like a health bar over your character.
Okay.
Helps you keep track. Orange, your Constitution modifier.
Is 1.
So you start with 7 and
7.
Ewok.
It's 6. I already got it. I had 0 in modifier.
Right on. Right on. Feats. I'm gonna go ahead and house rule something. According to the feats, you're supposed to take weapon proficiencies, each thing separately, like as a category. I enforce that in Call of Cthulhu. I'm not going to enforce that in this. So you guys don't need to write it down because I can't think of a situation where I would even question it, but everybody's automatically going to be proficient with simple weapons. You know, anybody can pick up a hammer and swing it. Anybody can swing a baseball bat. That kind of thing. So like simple melee weapons, everybody is proficient in that. Based on what your profession is, I might allow for different proficiencies to be added onto that. And then we'll do feats separately. Because the way this book works, like you're supposed to use, like your proficiencies count as feats, and like that kind of sucks. So, unfortunately for like a white-collar businessman, like, I could maybe see proficient in like rifles. You know, you go hunting on the weekends, stuff like that. For detective, obviously sidearm you would be proficient with.
Okay, yeah, that
depending
makes sense.
on depending on what type of detective, whether you're a private detective or because you could be like anything in that whole spectrum from private eye to captain of the SWAT team. Do they have captains? I don't probably.
Yeah.
I was captain of the swim team. Does that count? Proficient with fish. So,
Channel.
for criminal, like I would give you weapon proficiency, pistol.
Okay. See,
If
I was
you
gonna
want
channel
it.
my. Yeah, I was gonna channel my real life. I was shot in the head in real life, so I kind of don't like guns.
No,
So
that's fine.
I'm
If you
good
would
with
prefer
blades.
if you would prefer to do something else, that's totally fine.
I figured that'd be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And a soldier, you're go ahead and take them all. Because you would be proficient with pistols, you would be proficient with machine guns, and you would be proficient with rifles. They cover all that in boot camp.
It's true.
Being proficient with something means if you're not proficient with a weapon and you try and use it, you take a -4 on the attack.
So where do we put the feats? I think that's what.
Oh, it should be under. Yeah, on the very, very front page, which is stats, on the right hand side, kind of next to where your attack bonuses are.
Okay.
All right, I see it.
So is this like what what our character would be proficient in?
Yeah, like if you want to write down what you're proficient in under feats, that would be fine, or under class abilities, whichever you prefer. These are going to be your character sheets, so wherever you want to write stuff down, as far as that stuff goes, is pretty open. Wherever you'll be able to find it the easiest.
Are we each taking 2 feats to start?
Yeah, in addition to whatever weapon proficiencies that you would automatically have. Like, I'm kind of lumping that in, house ruling it a little bit. So you guys have the full list of feats too, so you also get to pick 2 of those. Those also help flesh out your character a little bit. And they're pretty self-explanatory. Acrobatic gives you an aptitude bonus on jump and tumble checks. Alertness gives you bonus on listen and spot checks. The ones which might be confusing, I'll go over. Blind fight. Blind fight means that you get to re-roll your mischance for either cover or concealment. For example, you walk into a completely dark room, there's no light source at all, you literally cannot see. You kind of sense that there's something in front of you, so you swing at it, but there's still a 50% mischance because you can't see it. So basically, you would swing to hit, see if you hit its armor class. If you do hit its armor class, then you have to roll D100 and pick either high or low. And if you win the roll, you hit. If you lose, you miss instead. If you take the blind fight feat, it gives you the opportunity to re-roll that 50% mischance. Cleave is a very popular feat, as well as power attack. Power attack basically means you're trading attack bonus for attack damage. Combat casting, don't even bother taking it because there's not going to be any magic in this. So you guys can disregard anything that's related to that, or the psychic feats. We're not going to do any of that because it would be imbalanced if one person was psychic and the rest of the party isn't, because it's just like, it would kind of break the game.
We get 2 of these.
Yep. As long as you meet the prerequisites. Certain ones have requirements that you have to meet.
I see that. Yep. And if it's blank, there's no prerequisite.
Correct. It'll actually say, like, in bold prerequisite if there's certain things you have to meet. Like, some of them are, you have to have, like, a 13 or higher in a certain ability score, or you have to have another feat before you take that one. Something like that.
So for mine, I picked like weapon proficiency. I put knives. Is that something or not?
That would be under, like, simple weapons.
Okay.
But, like, if, like, say your character's all about knives, like, you could probably get away with picking up a samurai sword and getting something out of it, where usually somebody would take a penalty on that. You wouldn't.
Okay. I picked blind, fight, and animal affinity.
Nice. Man, you're gonna be all about those animals.
I want to
You're
raise
gonna be
a
like
pack of wolves.
Snow White,
There we go. Birds
trail
without
of fucking woodland critters. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Spot on. So what did you take for feats, Buckle?
I took the weapon proficiency rifles that you gave us,
Yep.
and then persuasive and trustworthy.
Nice. And orange? Still kind of thinking about it?
I'm going with martial artist and
Awesome.
Going for that Jesus Walking Dead character.
maybe and stealthy. Sure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Both good choices.
I'm gonna go ahead with.
And also, if you guys are planning on using weapons before you finalize your decisions, especially shooting weapons, point blank shot and precise shot. You have to take point blank shot in order to get precise shot. What precise shot does is, say Vesper is grappling with a zombie, or she's in close enough proximity to one, they're swinging at each other, they're in melee combat with each other. If somebody else tries to shoot that zombie, they're going to take a -4 on that attack because they have to kind of work around not hitting her. So if you take precise shot, that negates that -4 on the hit. So just something to keep in mind. I like to let people know that in advance, because otherwise it's like, well shit, now my character's gimped. I can't ever shoot anything. Scruffles, don't yell at me. You're upsetting John Tom. And
All right,
also,
I'm
I'm
gonna
sorry.
go. Oh my goodness! Every time, every time.
No, take your time. It's perfectly fine.
Oh, I thought. Okay, no, I was actually about to say. I thought you were gonna say something else. I'm gonna go with alertness and what was the other one? Shit. Oh, improved initiative.
Nice. Good choices. Alright, so we got skills done, we got hit points done, we got feats done. Base attack and all that stuff. We can do sanity real quick. Your starting sanity is whatever your wisdom score is times 5. Not the modifier, the actual score. So if you have a wisdom of 12, your starting sanity is going to be 60. Hey, what's up, Paul? Also, hello, Emptiness, Dust, everybody in chat that I haven't said hello to, Scorn, everybody who's new, welcome. Also, everybody who thanked... thank you, everybody who did the thing. Thank you, everybody who followed me while I wasn't streaming, because I noticed I did gain a few, so that's probably from Vesper's shoutouts. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Of course.
I appreciate the support.
I should have weapon proficiency, ring-a-ding-ding buckle.
Fits, right?
Ring-a-ding-ding-ding-ding.
Where is sanity on the character sheet?
Oh, I put that under other, because there's no thing under D&D for sanity. So your current is going to be whatever your starting sanity is, which is your wisdom times 5. Thank you, Mr. Nice Guy. What a nice guy for that follow. And your max sanity, we'll just say that's 99, because there's no Cthulhu mythos in this. I'll degrade that as I feel necessary. I'll erode that as I see fit.
All right, so you made it easy for me. My sanity is 60.
Math.
I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to explain it again. Where exactly is this? I heard
Oh.
other, but
On the main, stats, if you scroll down on the right-hand side, the very bottom box on the right-hand side. I typed it
Okay.
in.
thank you.
No problem.
Mine would be 80.
Nice. That is a strong sanity.
I got 60.
Well, the idea is the way that you roll sanity is it's better to roll low on that than high because you roll D100 and you want to get under what your current sanity is. So if you have 80, then you have an 80% chance of passing a sanity check, whereas Ewok only has a 60% chance. He gon' cray.
I've seen some shit, though. I've seen some shit.
Some crazy shit.
I've seen some crazy shit. So say if we wanted to make like a customized weapon, okay? Like I said earlier, the lobotomizer, I'm going to link it to you in Skype. Like this.
Alright, I gotta get a look at it. Like, as far as actually making it? Huh. I guess that would involve some kind of metalwork. So... that's a good question.
I'm gonna post it in chat so they can see what we're talking about. Oh, you brought it up, didn't you? Never mind.
Well, I showed it briefly. Yeah, that would be like a craft check, which is a skill. So craft can be anything from like carpentry, tailoring, all that kind of stuff. I believe this might also, well, everybody has their own profession. Profession is usually a skill in D&D. So I mean, it really depends. Like I said, a lot of this game is going to be very fluid, just me trying to figure out what would make sense, as opposed to just hammering out flat rules. So, if you can give me like an argument for like how you would be able to know how to weld something, then yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, my grandfather was a welder for 60 years.
There you go. Well, was your character's grandfather a welder for 60 years?
Yes, I'm playing as myself.
Oh, well then yes. There you go. Which brings me to the next point, which is metagaming. This is the part where Thog gets to act like the principal for a minute. Depending on the situation, I am more lenient with metagaming than a lot of other DMs that I've seen. Metagaming basically means that you are playing your character in a way that doesn't make sense because you, as a player, are privy to information that your character wouldn't necessarily have.
So are we playing this like they do in the comics and in the series, like for Walking Dead, where they have no... Not like Ramiro was never around, Night of the Living Dead never existed. Are we playing it like that?
No, we're playing it like this is real world, you and me, right here, right now, so The Walking Dead is a thing. I mean, we've all seen it. Most people in America have seen it, so I'm not gonna put too much emphasis on that, except to say that you guys might be familiar with zombies and zombie horror and zombie culture and all that kind of stuff, but actually seeing a zombie physically ripping out somebody's entrails is probably going to be a bit off-putting at first. That's going to take some getting used to. So that's like something you might have to roll a sanity check for. At least in the beginning, until you're until you get to like season 5, Rick.
So we get desensitized.
The Rickinator.
Basically, and there's something about that in this book too, because it's a very horror-driven game. It's called Getting Used to Awfulness. Like, if you're seeing zombies all the time, obviously the scare factor is going to wear off after a while. You know what I mean? Just like it did for anybody who played the DayZ mod.
Yeah.
First time you load into the DayZ mod, you're crawling around, you're waiting for nightfall so the zombies can't see you, sneaking from place to place, and then, a month in, you're Fred Astaire dancing around them, just going ham. Literally not stopping movement, just running into buildings and out, not giving a
So
shit.
if we're playing that way, so can we duck behind bushes to lose the zombies?
Depends.
It's a DayZ joke. Sorry, I'll just
Well-
shut up now.
Dude, don't disrespect the bushy trees. I love my bushy trees. You know how many lives in DayZ those bushy trees have saved? Of mine alone?
Many.
Countless.
Stand in a pine
Countless.
tree and bandage. That's what you got to do.
The pine trees of DayZ Ternaris are like Jesus. They have saved so many people. So many. So like I said before, we'll go over equipment once we get the whole party together. But we're pretty much done.
All right.
So while I'm finishing up getting everything completed story-wise, and actual gameplay, mapping, stuff like that, I mentioned this before,